You want to start? Are you ready to start?
Yep. Welcome to another episode of War Bear Podcast.
War Bear Podcast. Could be like, welcome to the War Bear Podcast for the end of November, blah, blah, blah. Because it doesn't really matter. So we had a lot happened this month. And that's kind of the reason why you haven't seen any the gaming videos. One, I noticed when I uploaded it, and you guys can go check it out if you want to. I kind of fucked up the audio on the last Shovel Knight episode. So, oops, sorry. It's only off by a little bit, but I don't really have the means to fix it. So, or the care ability to fix it, I guess you could say.
Give a crap to...
give a crap ability to fix it? Sure. Other than that, I could just say I'll try to do better in the future. The gaming stuff's just kind of filler in between projects, and the big project we had for November was NebraskaCon. So, how are you doing, Brent? How was your month?
Good. I enjoyed NebraskaCon.
Yeah. I think we should save that for its own special little segment, so... Good month.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ted's not here with us. I texted him. He never texted me back. It was kind of last moment. His schedule's kind of crap, so... I'm sure he'd be here if he could. But
just been watching a lot of previews for movies that are coming out. We went and watched Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, that happened that month too. I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, me and you are in the minority there.
Yeah.
We didn't like all the jokes. We thought they fell flat and were lame.
Well, it's not even just that. If you're gonna list elements from like one of the best comic books ever written, I never read Ragnarok. I hear it's good too, but if you're gonna list stuff from like Planet Hulk, oh man, make it freaking brutal, man.
Not to mention Thor Ragnarok, if I remember right, even looking up at the sale-wise, of all the Thor, that sold the best. And you took the two best things from Hulk and Thor, the two biggest things people would want to see from them, and they're trying to judge it off of stuff that even in the comic book-wise didn't do that well. But the one storyline from both of them that did ridiculously good, they mashed them together and just totally butchered it as far as I'm concerned.
See, I get what they're trying to go for. They were trying to make a comedy out of it. And where I think that works with Guardians still had a good story behind it. This was a mess of a story, and I don't really see it having last this utility. Like, it won't last more than like the first viewing. I don't see people going back and watching it again. It really had nothing. It had nothing. Hell, I can say Avengers 2: Age of Ultron wasn't the best Marvel movie, but I still will go back and watch that Hulk and Iron Man fight.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't even think of a scene in Thor Ragnarok I would want to go back and watch. The arena fight sucked.
Yeah, it was...
The end fight was shit. None of the... I didn't think any of the jokes were funny. I might have chuckled a little bit here and there, but... It was a disaster. I don't know why people like it so much.
I'm not saying the jokes weren't... I didn't appreciate... I guess they weren't funny. It's not that they weren't funny to me.
They were funny to you?
Some of them were okay. I liked them. But as far as putting them in that story, it doesn't work like Guardians of the Galaxy because it flows with the story and, to me, belonged there. Whereas in Thor Ragnarok, I don't feel like they belong there. They were trying to give you... The storyline, to me, was trying to give you this sense of urgency and this sense of dread, but they're making a big joke about the whole thing, and you lose that, like, intensity that should have been there for the storyline.
About the whole fall of Asgard. That's what you mean. Like, the threat of Asgard, the threat of Helena was lost on the fact that they're making a joke every 5 seconds. Yeah, I get that.
Even Odin dying, which should have been a sad moment, was a joke.
Yeah. It wasn't a funny joke, though. It was just a sad, lame joke. Like, it was like an old man telling a racist joke. It's like,
I guess we should have said spoiler alert, but whatever.
I don't care about spoiling bad movies, and this was horrible.
And which more spoilers? But even when Asgard is destroyed,
yeah, it's totally destroyed.
It's not even like a sad moment. It's just a joke, a bad joke. So yeah, it just aggravating movie to me. I would have loved to have seen a Planet Hulk or Thor Ragnarok separate.
Well, I already accepted the fact they can't do a Planet Hulk because of the whole stupid Hollywood contract deals that they had made. That they can't do solo Hulk movies because they don't own the rights to that. But they can do Hulk as long as he's teaming up in another movie. That's the loophole. So I get the fact that they can't make a Planet Hulk movie, but I was thinking.
Then why can't they do just a Thor Ragnarok? Why did they have to put Hulk in there?
Because in the past, Hulk he had 2 movies and they never made any money. So I think the thought was to put somebody from the Avengers to make it more appealing, and the only one that wasn't really doing anything was Hulk. So it kind of made sense with the whole Planet Hulk thing to make that angle. I get what they're going for. I mean, I just wish it was taken a little bit more seriously because, like, Planet Hulk, the comic book, was the most pissed off Hulk has ever been in comic book history. I mean, the sequel to that was Worldbreaker Hulk, where he came back to Earth and almost destroyed everything. And even if you got to switch the roles around, he's like in his room playing around with Hulk or with Thor in his room and making jokes, and he's like, ho, 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 ho. I hated it. I hated it. I wanted an angry, pissed off Hulk. He could still be smart. I'm not even against that. I wanted destruction. With those 2 powerhouses, I didn't want stupid jokes. I wanted him to, like, almost destroy the planet. And there was no sense of, like, them being captured was a big deal.
No.
They were going to get away. It was like, it was an afterthought. It was bad. If you liked it, that's cool. You're allowed to like whatever you want. It was, oof. I'm sure it was better than Justice League, though. And maybe that's what's helped.
Did you see that new thing I shared about them, a whole big thing about the whole DC, what they're doing?
I saw, it was like that Looper thing that you posted.
Oh.
The video?
Talks about that Aquaman's supposed to be coming.
Well, Aquaman is coming. You're actually right about that. I didn't know they already had pretty much filmed it. That's confirmed. The rest of those are just like things that they could do in that video and things that people rumor that they might do. Right now, with the numbers that they're making, I guarantee you they're just going to ride this out. Everything else is going to get canceled. Aquaman's going to come out for sure.
Well, the only other one, Aquaman's they've already like
it's
filming.
No, it's already done. It's in the can. They won't. I think they are projecting that they probably will make more money on DVD sales than theatrical sales at this point. So Aquaman probably more likely won't have like a huge marketing campaign behind it. Like you'll hear like Aquaman coming soon, but you won't like see it blow up like Marvel's doing or like what they did with Justice League, where they tried to really push for it. Because I think at this point they're pretty much the decision's already been made. They're going to start over.
Well, that's one of the things they said in there. They have started and are going to do Flashpoint with the Flash.
I don't see it happening. No, they have not started that yet. That is not true.
They were talking like they had started Flashpoint.
No. In fact, the actor the actor who played in that Justice League movie is already. There's rumors that he's already like not coming back.
Oh. It would make sense if they did Flashpoint and like that was their reset, tried using it as their reset button.
They haven't even earned that, though. That's the thing. They have not even earned that. They might as well just start all over again. They have not earned a reset movie thing. No. You guys fucked it up. They need to like go back to the drawing board and do it over again. No.
Well, I think that's what they were.
And again, if you liked all those movies, that's fine too. This is just our opinion. But if you did like those movies, you deserved more. I'm just telling you right now. That why the hell did they not? Why they start this whole thing off? Which again, if you go back and look it up a couple of years, Man of Steel was not supposed to be the catalyst for this whole DC Universe thing. And I have no idea why they even tried to like make it the catalyst, because Snyder said on so many things, they're like, there will be no kryptonite in these movies. There was no kryptonite, no kryptonite, no kryptonite. He kept saying it like it was like we're changing everything. And then they did Batman v Superman. Oh, there has to be kryptonite because, duh.
That's the only way Batman's going to be Superman.
Yeah. So, duh. They had to like lame in kryptonite. Why Man of Steel? Why Superman is not just? Why not All-Star Superman? I tell people all the time that is the best Superman story ever written. It gets to the point of what Superman really is, and you don't even have to like do All-Star Superman, like panel for panel.
Know what All-Star Superman is. So.
That's a sad thing, but because he eventually dies at the end of that comic book, it's like a one-off thing. But that character, that version of Superman, that's what I'm talking about. Have that be Superman. That's the character you need to like read to get Superman and do it right. And it's so dumb. But just today, freaking Avengers Infinity War trailer dropped.
Yeah, have you seen that one?
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's everywhere. What do you mean I haven't? I can't even get up and watch it. What do you think?
It was good. I liked it. I think it'll be...
Well, I guess 3 days ago, there was a coworker of mine said that the Russo brothers had put something on their like Twitter feed. It was like this Cartoon 3, and they didn't say what it was for. It was just a stupid Cartoon 3, and everybody was like, the hell is that supposed to mean? And he asked me, he's like, what does that mean? I was like, I don't know. It could mean anything. I guess it was 3 days now. They were going to drop the trailer for Infinity War, which makes sense. So, yep, Infinity War trailer dropped. Looks good. I've already seen it, kind of, when it was at the San Diego Comic-Con. There was, like, leaked footage of it. It looks like they added some stuff to it, which I figured they probably would. I don't think you got to see Black Widow in the Comic-Con trailer. Clear shot of her, anyway, like you do in the Now teaser trailer.
I like it. I think it shows you very well what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Thanos is going to come and he is going to stomp on.
Oh, I already read the synopsis. I already know what's going to happen in the movie. I already know exactly what's happening. And when I see the trailer, it already confirms all of what I already know. And it looks like he's got 2 of the Infinity Stones already. It looks like he has the power, and he's got the what was the one from Guardians? The space. Oh, he has a space. That was the Tesseract, the space one, and he has the power one. That was the ones from Guardians. So he's already gone to Nova and swiped that one out of the bolt first, and then he came to Earth and he got that one from Loki, and you already see the scene of him ripping it out of. Well, that might be Loki ripping it out of his head, but out of the Vision's head, and then he's already got the Time Stone there too. So the rumors that the Soul Gem might be in Wakanda, I think are 100% true at this point, because why are they even in Wakanda if they're not protecting the Soul thing? So that's it. That's all the stones, man. Well, the ether is with the collector, I guess. So we got that one. But there's a 2-part movie, so. Yeah, in the trailer it already shows him having 2, though. So. And just beating the crap out of everybody.
I think that's going to be in the first start. You see him go to the Guardians of the Galaxy planet, take the Power Stone.
Nova Corps?
Yeah, he's going to go to Nova Corps.
Don't you remember Nova? The comic book character Nova? You don't know who that is? Oh. He was somebody in Marvel. He had like the... You remember in the Guardians that the Nova Corps and everybody had like those 3 circle on their chest? Nova looked like that. If I showed you a picture, you'd be like, "Oh, that dude."
Probably would. I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know at what point are we supposed to get Captain Marvel. Is that going to be before Infinity Wars or after the first Infinity Wars?
I think it's going to be in the second one. But I hear they're going to make a movie that takes place, that happens before even, that's supposed to take place before Iron Man in the universe, where she gets her powers. And she's always been there kind of thing, but never called upon because she's like a government agent kind of thing. Like, so, and there's been like, I guess someone alluding to it in Doctor Strange when he was taking the phone call. Some people think that one of the patients that was listed on his itinerary was Captain Marvel, the one that wrecked his car when he was like, "That sounds interesting, worth my time," kind of thing. So we'll see. The movie's coming out. I mean, Marvel will keep cranking these things out because they're doing it right and they're making a lot of money. I mean, even when I find one of their movies not to be that entertaining, it does extraordinarily well. So it doesn't even matter what I think of this stupid Thor Ragnarok. It still made billions of freaking dollars. So.
Well, to me, I haven't really cared a whole lot for any of the Thors, so I don't know why it surprised me.
I was kind of hopeful that this would be the one Thor that I actually owned, but I'm not going to go out and buy this one. So I won't own any Thors. Surprisingly, I own all the Captain Americas, and I didn't think that would ever happen, but freaking Winter Soldier is probably the best damn Marvel movie they've ever freaking made.
I don't know why I was worried after the first Captain America that they were just going to keep pooping on Captain America like they are Thor. And
I kind of liked the first one, though. I thought it was really charming.
I thought it could have been better. And
I thought it could have had
it kind of like Thor.
I thought the ending felt a little rushed. Like they should have paced that out a little bit better, because it was just like, oh, you gotta go there and freaking kick his ass. Like it was like that. There was no like mid boss fights. That was their big thing, and I don't understand why they didn't do that. And maybe it's because they didn't have rights to certain. What was it? I forget what Hydra. Maybe they don't have the rights to all the Hydra mid bosses. But then one of them was in the Avengers. I don't know why they didn't do that.
Well, they have most of. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
Think they're doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't know why they didn't do that. That blows my mind too. Like they could have had some genetically freaky guys, bodyguards for Red Skull, but that Cap could have fought for like a second. But they didn't do that, so whatever. That was the only problem I had with that movie, but it's such a minor problem because I still find the rest of the movie kind of charming and well paced, so it doesn't really bog me that much. But
it's kind of like I feel about Thor. I liked the first Thor; it was okay. I should say I can't say I really like it. It was okay, but I feel like they didn't put the time into it.
Well, nothing happened.
Pumped it out to introduce Thor and
Yeah.
explain why his hammer was there in the other movie.
Well, it was just a tie-in.
Yeah. And do all that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, hurry up and get Thor out so we can do Avengers.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way with Captain.
Hey, a lot of people like that Thor. I mean, looking back on it, I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but I just felt like I said, nothing happened in it.
And
nothing felt like it was at stake. And I guess that's a theme for all the Thor movies, because, Jesus, nothing never really feels at stake. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's old Chrissy boy acting. People think he's freaking the best thing ever. I don't think he's that great, but whatever.
I don't mind him, but
He's not horrible, but
I don't
know. I don't know, man.
They've all fell flat for me
Yeah.
as much as I would like him to be more.
I really like that Spider-Man.
Spider-Man Homecoming was good.
Yeah.
And
I guess the Deadpool trailer came out. Yeah.
Which that was hilarious.
Yeah, good old Bob Ross.
We grew up with Bob Ross, and the younger generation.
I probably grew up more with Bob Ross than most people did, because Bob Ross had like a resurgence where, I guess people like to use it for their MRS. I can't think of the right way to say that. MSMR? Yeah, that's it. Where you get like the tinglies when you listen to something, and it calms you down. And people like to listen to old Bobby because his voice to get their MSR going. But I was watching that when I was little, because I loved painting and I loved art, and I would watch it just to get painting tips and stuff. So I think when that show come out? That show came out in the 70s?
I remember it on the TV the whole time through the 80s.
Well, yeah, I think those were reruns. I think it generally came out in the 70s, but maybe it came out in the 80s. I'm not 100% unsure on that, but I was watching it way back then.
80s.
It came on after Sesame Street, I think, or somewhere around that time frame, at least around here. And I'd watch that on the weekends or during the summer, just to get painting tips and stuff like that. And then then I never heard anything about it, and then people started bringing it up in the late 2000s, oh my gosh, you know Bob Ross? And yeah.
That's what
I've known about that for a long time ago. What are you talking about? The Golden Girls are getting a resurgence because people are going back and watching the Golden Girls. I'm like, oh my god, Golden Girls are freaking hilarious. I'm like, yeah.
I watched with them. We loved them.
I watched it back in the day. I'm talking about. I know it's hilarious.
No, I like to watch some of the Bob Ross stuff. His painting stuff was cool, and I thought it was interesting to learn.
Yeah,
learn more from him than I ever did in art class.
They're good techniques.
And not even that I'm a big artist. I just found it cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, when it comes down to it, he was a good artist and stuff like that, but he relied a lot on the same setup for a scenery. It was mountains in the background, waterfall, trees in the foreground, and some trees in the background. And it was always that was his setup. And I don't know if he just did that to teach art, or if that was his mainstay. I guess I really didn't get too deep in the Bob Ross's art style, but it seemed like every episode was a lot like that. He didn't. If I had to discredit him at all, which I really don't want to, I would say that it didn't seem like he had a lot of range in the broadening the strokes. You didn't see starry skies or desert landscapes. I don't remember ever seeing a desert landscape by Bob Ross. It was always mountains and trees and waterfalls, and it looks really good. No, don't get me wrong, he was great at it, but I don't know if that was just his way of teaching art, just simplifying it for the the layman's, or if that was just his primary like setup for his overall art style. I don't know. That's a much deeper art conversation, and again, I have not delved deep into like Bob Ross's like back catalog of. I might be completely wrong. He might have been doing like he never did any like caricatures on that show. He never did a face.
No.
And I think that's
always landscape.
Yeah, it was always landscapes, and it was always like I said, like the same setup of the landscape. It wasn't nothing like an ocean scene or a beach or.
I do remember a beach one time.
You think you did a beach once? He might have like. I don't remember every single episode of the Bob Ross show.
And I only know some of that because Ryan has.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's now on, and that's why you're seeing, I think, such a big resurgence. It's on Netflix.
Well, they play it on Twitch. There's somebody who's like live streaming it 24 hours a day, every day a week. Well, no, I think the Bob Ross Fan Club or something like that.
Well, I know they put it on Netflix, and a lot of people are.
Yeah.
It's like they put it under their trending now.
Well,
Bob
when it
Ross
comes
is trending like. Worldwide, I guess.
I think that was one of the reasons why, when I was little, I stopped watching it because, like I said, once you have his technique down, like what he's teaching, every other episode is exactly the same, and I just kind of got bored with it because I wanted to learn how to do like portraits, and I'm always up for like other forms of style. Again, I'm not discrediting Bob Ross at all. He was a fantastic artist. He was a really chill guy. I love that guy to death. But when it comes down to like learning new things, you got to keep expanding that experience. And I feel like I got everything.
Most of them from first season were a lot of the trees, mountains, and stuff like that. And then he started getting more into doing like the plains and started showing people how to do the blades of grass and getting more detailed into that stuff.
Plains?
You
mean like
grassy plains.
Grassy plains and fields and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did some of those, and I think it was season 3. I haven't watched a whole lot past that point.
Mm-hmm.
I seen the beach scene.
He could have done. Like I said, I don't remember every single episode.
It was, like I said, he didn't start doing, if I'm remembering right, which, my God, it's been, but he...
Well, I mean, certain artists will fall into certain grooves, too, of, like, things that they prefer to paint, and you don't really see them stretch out of that circle.
Have, what's the huge, everybody wants his paintings. They even make puzzles and stuff for him.
Okay.
Of his painting. Thomas Kincaid.
Yeah.
He's like...
Well, you could say that about Van Gogh or even like Da Vinci, too. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of artists. Especially.
Well, most of them today know Thomas Kincaid stuff and...
Yes.
And where his kind of stayed in a general...
Yes. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. I mean, everybody...
That was his niche.
Yeah. Once an artist finds something that he enjoys painting, he'll probably paint that same thing several different kinds of ways, but always in the same kind of vein for the rest of his life. But, what'd you think of the Deadpool trailer? Teaser. There was a little bit of clips from the movie.
I like the jokes to it of the whole Bob Ross part and the clips from the movie. I think, again, it's one of my top looking forward to. I looked forward to the first Deadpool. I'm really looking forward to the second one, especially seeing that from what I have heard, they gave him the budget he should have had with the first one.
Yeah.
And, like, quit hovering, I guess would be the best way. The studio's not hovering for him. They're just letting them do their thing.
We'll see. Hopefully it's just as charming and entertaining as the first one, but I mean, they haven't even dropped the rating yet, and that's kind of freaking me out too. Like, if it's not another hard R, I might just like be like, I don't know about that.
It's supposed to be R.
Well, they haven't rated it yet, so because it's not technically out, so I don't think it's gone before the rating board yet, or they haven't announced the rating yet. So we'll see.
That's what I was talking about. They aren't forcing him to go.
No, they shouldn't either. But
especially, they had the hit with the first Deadpool being rated R, and then they took the gamble on Logan. And
I don't know if that was even a gamble, though. That was just duh.
Well, in their books, it was a gamble, we'll say.
It was stupid.
But it paid off for them very well, so I think at this point they're just shutting up and letting it go. Like, okay, well, this is what they want. We'll give it, whatever. It's going to make us money. Do it.
Yeah, basically. Well, the business of movies, boo. The only thing that's coming out more recently after this whole Justice League fadooble is Star Wars, but me and Brent both are not interested in that movie or even talking about it. Probably be dumb. If you like Star Wars, cool on you. I have my own personal reasons why I don't like the Star Wars movies, the new ones anyway. I love the George Lucas stuff. And basically, if it's not made by George Lucas, I'm not going to watch it. So
I think that's how we both feel at this point.
There was the Rampage trailer. I thought that looked really good.
Rampage.
With Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
That didn't look bad.
I'm kind of interested in that. I'm kind of a little hyped about that. I can't think of anything else that I saw that I might want to talk about. So it's
Justice League is so funny to me that the fact that they put things in like Justice League is supposed to be a sequel to Batman versus Superman,
but not really.
But now, not really.
No.
That didn't happen.
Yeah. So you can't.
That is hilarious.
You can't backpedal when there's already a giant hill behind you. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to backpedal up that mountain. It's hard to pedal uphill. I can't imagine pedaling backwards. The movie is. I can't even believe they even finished it. I guess they were just throwing so much money into it that at the point where they were like, we need to stop, it was already too late. So they're just like, hopefully we'll make money on DVD sales. I say it was very obvious, especially when they did that whole review block on Rotten Tomatoes, which is bullshit. I'll tell you this right off the bat. If your movie that you're kind of not looking forward to, or it's a big Hollywood movie, and they have a review, what do they call that? Embargo, that movie's not going to be good. If a movie's good and they have a real big
gag order on a review.
No, it's called an embargo.
Oh.
When they put an embargo on the movie for reviews, because it's not a gag because a gag won't be lifted. A embargo is like it will be lifted after the movie comes out, and that's basically because they don't want anybody to know how bad it is until the movie comes out. So if the studio has faith in their movie, they don't never do that. You don't see Marvel doing that at all. They lift those right off the bat because half the time those are always going to be really good, and they have faith that their movie is going to be good. They don't care if a critic says it's going to be bad because people are going to go still see it. When DC does it, or Warner Brothers, it totally means that movie is going to suck. And the fact that they did it with Rotten Tomatoes, which Rotten Tomatoes is not even a review site. If you're stupid enough to not know that, all it does is it's just what's that word? It takes all the reviews, all the critics' reviews, and puts them in a
scoring system. And
it scores it. There's a certain word, I can't think of it off the top of my head. That's what it does. And they put a block on that, and I was like, whoa, this movie must really freaking suck. Because that's bullshit. That is such a nightmare. It's such a big mess. I have no idea what the hell they're thinking.
Black Panther's supposed to be coming out.
Yeah, it's next month, I think, December. We haven't seen anything for it just yet because we're in the latter months of November. There's one trailer. Maybe Maybe it's January. Maybe it is January. I don't know. I thought it was December, but maybe they pushed it back.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
But I'm looking forward to that one as well. I think that'll be good. I think he did really good in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to him.
I don't know. I never was much of a big Black Panther fan in the comic books, just because.
I'll be honest. I never knew much about him. He
was such an asshole. Like he was just. He wasn't even like Batman levels of asshole, but he was almost on the same level as the Batman, like because he just knew it all and everybody. He had all the plans and the contingencies, and he was super smart and he could do anything. And I mean, that's really good for like. I know because like the African American community has like a hard time having like them portrayed in Hollywood, and it's bullshit that black actors can't get good parts, and they get so much harassment that they get. Black Panther is like a really good superhero for them to help promote them, but I was never a fan of him. I like the Miles Morales, the new Black Spider-Man, which is stupid to say because he's just Spider-Man. He's another Spider-Man from another universe. He's just Spider-Man. He's not like, I say black because he's African American, but he's just Spider-Man. I like his character more. Black Panther, I don't know. I never really. I mean, in the movies he was really good, and I guess I'm kind of curious to see.
The only other time I really seen and know much about him, I never paid that much attention to him until I seen him in the. I think they were Disney Channel movies, or not movies, series of.
Yeah, it was like the
Avengers Assemble.
Yeah, he was in those.
I thought he was good in those, and I liked him.
I mean, he's just.
But like I said,
I'm not saying anything bad against him.
I never read the Civil War comic.
He was just a character that didn't really appeal to me because of his attitude. Like I mean, it made sense. He was a king of Wakanda. He was running a country. He was also being a superhero. He had to like help the Avengers out all the time, and I don't know. I don't like overly brainy characters like that. Batman, I kind of give a pass on, and I don't really know why. I just do because I like the aspect of he's rich and everything, but he's not like running a country too at the same time. I guess on top of it, like he's not as full of himself. Like Black Panther comes off a little full of himself sometimes, and it just kind of like was like, okay, dude. But I'm really happy that. Like the way they casted it, the way the movie looks, it looks good. It looks fair. They didn't shoehorn him in like an entire white cast. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, and I'm really happy about that. So I like to see that get its due. Like they did that with the Netflix show. I can't think of that dude's name now. Luke Cage. They like the same thing. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense for that. I never watched that. You didn't
want to see him do like they did Ghost in the Shell?
No, I didn't want to see that.
Or Gods of Egypt?
No, I didn't want to see that. I'm glad they didn't do that. It looks actually the way it should look. So I'm happy about that. And that's like one of the things I might go see it for, just for that factor alone. Like, even though I'm not the biggest Black Panther fan just based on his character alone, I might go see it just because, in the end of the day,
he's going to go see it. I'm going to drag him to it with me.
I'm going to go see it. I'm not saying anything against it.
It's
just his like arrogantness I don't like. And they kind of did that in the Avengers movie. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he's a little full of himself sometimes, and I'm just like, God, just...
That's kind of what I like to see, is he's a little full of himself, It's one of the things I like about him, and it's kind of cool when you see him get knocked down a peg or two. And
believe me, that does not happen in the comic books very often.
It takes him back when he gets like.
I like that. I like that humorous about it, and I guess that's the thing that doesn't exist in the comic books. At least, I mean, I didn't read too much Black Panther, and maybe it does, but it's like, I guess that's what you could say about Batman. Like, yeah, he's full of himself too, but he does get knocked down a lot, and he gets hurt. Black Panther, it seems like he's immune to getting hurt sometimes, and that kind of, I don't know, it just kind of...
Even in the Avengers Assemble, he gets knocked down quite a few times.
Yeah, but he's always like, they're like, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. He's like that level there again. That's what I'm talking about. Like, get off me, I'm fine. Like, and I guess Batman's like that too sometimes, but I don't know. I like bats better than Panthers, I guess. Not a big Cats fan.
I like the Black Panther's character. I thought he was really good.
Yeah, he looks cool. I mean, I'm not at all like negative against him at all at this point. I do want to see the movie, but I'm just saying, like, there's like a part of me that's like,
And see, I'm the opposite of him. I like the Black Panther character more than I like the Batman character. The only thing I don't like about the Black Panther is what little I do know. I've not seen good villains.
Oh, he's got some villains.
Whereas Batman has some really good.
Yeah, Batman's got a huge rogues gallery.
He has.
But
I don't even like all his villains, but he has some great villains.
I still don't like Captain America in the comic books either. I hate Cap in the comic books, but I really like Movie Cap. I love Movie Cap. Movie Cap is freaking awesome. I am not a big Captain America fan at all. And I'm thinking that's probably what's going to happen with this now with Black Panther. I'm not a big Black Panther fan in the comic books, but so far what I've seen on screen I really like. So I might turn into like a big movie Black Panther fan is what I'm getting at. Overall, that's what I'm basically saying. Like,
well, watching the trailer, I'm surprised. Haven't you seen the trailer for that?
Yeah, I've seen both of them. Yeah.
That looks really good.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I like it.
I'm
basically going on about, like, I'm just not a fan of the comic books, and I'm just kind of like,
I haven't seen.
There's that part of me that's just like, I don't like that comic book. But, I'll give it the fair shake on the movie and be like, oh, watch it. Because, it was like with the Captain America, the first Captain America movie. I was not a big Captain America fan. I was like, But then I ended up watching the movie, and I was like, I like this a lot. This is really good. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with Black Panther. That's what I'm getting at.
I didn't go to the theaters and see Captain America. I bought the movie and watched it. Thor.
I think with the exception of, like, Thor: The Dark World, I've seen all the Marvel movies in the theater.
I don't know many people that went and seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, even the trailers for that look freaking awful. Everybody was like, oh, it's awful.
I even saw Ant-Man. I saw Doctor Strange. I saw all the Iron Mans. I saw
Unfortunately
Spider-Man. That third one wasn't the greatest, but
no, Captain America, I don't think I went and seen in theaters.
I saw all the
I've seen the first Thor in theaters. I did not see Dark World and Captain America, I believe, are the two I didn't see in theaters.
You went and saw Doctor Strange in the theater?
We went and seen that.
I thought I went by myself to see that. Did we go see that?
Yeah.
Oh.
We went to...
Maybe we did. I don't remember. Maybe I saw it twice. I'm starting to lose it.
Think of any other movies that are really like big in my head right
now.
Well,
we can talk about, even though we don't want to talk about Star Wars, there is some, since we do a gaming channel, there is some gaming news according to Star Wars. And this whole debacle with the Star Wars and EA.
Battlefront.
Oh my God! If you're a fan of that, if you're a fan of the first Battlefront game, hats off to you. For one, I do not like online-only games. I like a campaign with my game. Like, just in case my internet's down, I can still play the game, kind of thing. And I don't like that off the bat. And two, I do not like this. I'll put it like this: visually, that game is stunning, 100% of the way. They scanned a lot of the stuff for that game, so you're seeing real Stormtrooper helmets. They're probably slightly altered, but they went to the costume shops, they went to the props, they scanned all that stuff and put it into the computer. I would have loved to have seen that in the very first two Battlefront games. By Acclaim, I think they were done by Acclaim. I'm not 100% on that, but I loved those Battlefront games. Those were awesome. The third one that didn't get released would have been amazing, but that was about the time they did the transaction to Disney, and it never got put out. But there was a level in that game, because you remember in the second Battlefront game where you could do space battles.
I haven't played any of them.
Oh man. Oh, then we'll have to play it on the channel. But believe me, it was awesome. I loved freaking Battlefront. Battlefront 2 was my favorite. And they had this thing where you could fight in space, and then you could board the other enemy ship, and then go and fight, and blah 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 blah. And the ships were there, so you could actually just go up to the ship and then click it and then fly around. And the new Battlefront game, you have to get enough kills, and then it says, and this thing pops up, and you can go enter ship mode, and then you're just in the air already. There's no docking procedure or takeoff thing. You're just in the air fighting. And they didn't have space battles in the first game. They have them now in the second game, but EA didn't create those levels. They outsourced it to another game developing company to do the flying levels. And I've heard people talk about it. They love the flying levels more than they do the shooting levels.
Well, and what we're talking about with Battlefront.
No, but with Battlefront is the whole loot box thing.
Loot boxes, everybody, and
oh man,
to me, it goes back to why I quit playing some of the phone app games I play. Is money players are the boss.
Mm-hmm. They're going to win,
and that's it. Whoever wants to spend the most money is going to win. And so many people just, I think that's one thing we do agree on. It has got to a breaking point with that. Everybody's so, and especially with a big title like that everybody was really getting into, and then to make it so
they lock you.
There's no chance for somebody in that game, for somebody who don't have the money to spend that kind of money.
We shouldn't have
to compete with somebody who spends ridiculous money. I think is the big problem. And to those who want to say, well, if you spend $20 a month, that's the problem. Even if you can afford to spend $20 a month on that game, you're still not going to compete with the guys that are in there spending, anywhere from $500 to $5,000 in the game. You aren't going to compete with them.
Huh.
And it makes it frustrating and aggravating when you're trying to, especially when it's strictly an online game, and you're trying to do something in the game and you can't because they're so boss at the game, was so far ahead of you, they just keep killing you before you can do anything.
I heard on the Super Best Friends podcast, which is not, I'll plug them because they're awesome. Go check out Super Best Friends on the Switcher on YouTube. I think it's still the Switcher. If it's not the Switcher, it's Super Best Friends. Go check them out. But I was listening to their podcast, and they were talking about this too. And one of the things that Pat brought up, because this happens in RPGs too, like World of Warcraft, stuff like that. It's a commonplace thing. And the problem there, and it's frowned on if you actually buy your way up, because now you're in a team, right? And you bought all the best stuff, but you didn't earn it. so you don't know how to play it. So now you're going to be screaming at this dude who just dropped about $100 on his character, who doesn't know any of the new moves he has because he didn't earn any of them. He didn't get to that level. He just bought it. So he doesn't know how to use anything. So now you're screaming at this guy while you're all trying to, like, beat this dragon or whatever. And that was, like, an element I didn't even think of. Like, oh, crap. Yeah, you can earn, you could just buy all that stuff, but now you don't know how to play it. So you're the best player on the team, but now you're a freaking
you have the best stats on the team, but you're the worst player.
You're the worst player, and you shouldn't be because you have all this crap. It's such a stupid thing.
And that does happen in a lot of a World of Warcraft being a prime one. I've seen people.
I think that's what he was talking about. Yeah,
is people will go on there and you can buy characters, you can buy where they're max level and all this. And then you go in and try and raid with these teams and that, and they're expecting you, like a healer, expecting you to be their healer, and you don't know how to do crap.
Yeah.
There's a point when, yes, you can buy a character that you've learned how to do the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the point of doing that if you can't spend a whole lot of time. But to me, you should at least play that character and know how to do something better than, and learn. And I guess that's part of what I dislike with that whole buying stuff.
I don't like any of it. I don't even see how this is fun.
But I do get a point. I'm different than him. I do get a point of, I do understand buying some of it and getting that point. But I don't.
Yeah, but we're talking about the difference between buying it and earning it. I think in my opinion, it's a lot more satisfactory if I earn the thing opposed to buying the thing.
I get that. I guess you're kind of hitting a fine line for me. Because in some games, I'll use World of Warcraft as a prime. I do know they do have it in the game. See, I think their max level now is 80. But you can buy a character that's like level 70 and start playing through.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that point because then you're still playing and learning and earning stuff. But for somebody who don't have an immense amount of time but wants to get to that high level point of doing some of the higher stuff, which is generally most of the time the funner stuff. To me, anyway. So I kind of get that, but at the same time, letting somebody be able to buy, like, the max stuff, I don't get.
I don't get any of it, because, like, you're saying, like, you don't have the time to put into it. Then find a more simpler game to play where that's not much of a requirement. You're playing the wrong game, for one. Two, I don't even get the point of that. What's the point of buying it? Like, the whole point of playing a game is playing the game and, like, learning and discovering stuff. Like, that's like if I went and bought Tomb Raider and then I spent another $60 on that to just get to the last level. What the fuck was the point?
But there are people like that. It's no different than
but that
having
doesn't
the
make
Game
any
Shark,
sense.
that they just want to make it to where they have infinite life and infinite...
Not at the beginning. You use the Game Shark after you beat the game, or you're stuck. You don't use the Game Shark like Super Mario Level 1.
There are people that do that and like it that way.
That's not playing a game. That's just riding a game. That's not playing at all. That's not doing anything other than just, like, getting in the roller coaster and having it take you to the end. That's so lazy. It's not playing jack shit.
And I've seen... And
that's like...
I'll take one of your favorites, Resident Evil. I know plenty of people that go in and use the Game Shark on that game to get infinite ammo.
Mm-hmm.
And then went through the game.
Well, then they missed the core aspect of the main game mechanics of that game, because the reason you didn't have much ammo in that game is because that was a game playing feature in that game. It was conserving freaking ammo. Conserving ammo was one of the most important parts of that game, and that's what made it fun. Because now, once you figured that out, because they don't even outright tell you that in the game. They don't go, oh, don't waste all your ammo on freaking zombies. You figure that about halfway through the game, and you're like, I can't find any damn ammo. And you have to start over again, and you have to play that stupid game over, because, what is Tad saying? Yeah, he couldn't tonight. Yeah, Tad just confirmed he couldn't do it tonight. That's fine. That's fun, because then you get good at dodging zombies, or just avoiding confrontations. Conserving ammo becomes part of the game core element of that game, because now you're like, you got shotgun ammo, but you're like, nah, I'm going to save that for a boss. So then that makes it more fun, and the game plays better knowing that and playing it like that. The game sucks if I could just take an Uzi and go, that's not fun. That's not even how the game's set up. Because if the game was set up like that, they would put hordes of zombies in there to make it more fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there is people that would disagree with that.
They're wrong.
That is your opinion.
That is not an opinion. They're just absolutely wrong, because that's not how that game is supposed to be played.
And see, I've done both. I've went through the game and played it how you're supposed to, and I've went through a game where I totally game sharked it from the start. Just infinite ammo and just...
Yeah, and I yelled at you then, too, about stuff like that, because it's not fun.
And prime example, the number one jab he takes at me is the original Pokemon and rare candy code.
Yeah, because the whole element of that game was raising your damn Pokemon and making it strong through time and learning the movesets. If you just give it fucking candy till it's like OD'd on that shit, it gets diabetes. And you got this fat Pokemon, yeah, he's hard to beat and everything like that, but even you at that time were like, I don't know what that does. I just use Hydro Pump because it's the highest hitting thing I have. And it is. But you didn't earn it. It's not fun. I don't even know how that's fun.
I caught them all.
Yeah. That's not fun.
It was fun to me.
And I don't see how it is fun. It's so pointless. It is so pointless. It's like if I was playing checkers with you and I said, nah, I'm going to get this, I paid this world champion checker player $200 to beat you in checkers. And you're like, that's not fair. I'm like, oh no, it's fun. I'm going to watch you lose and then I'm going to take credit for it. And I didn't do jack shit. And you're like, you didn't win. And you're right, I didn't win. But I'm going to claim that I won something. So, yeah, EA shot themselves in the foot. Now they're probably... They really shot themselves in the foot with this whole stupid thing.
I've seen that coming, though, for a while.
It was going to happen. It would just depend on what...
tired of that loot box stuff of...
What was going to be the breaking point? It just turned out it was Star Wars. I didn't know which game it was going to be, but it turns out it was Star Wars.
Yeah, that loot box stuff was...
It's so dumb.
I think you're going to start seeing a lot of games back off on that.
They can't. Because that's primarily how they make their money.
I think for phone games, yeah, that's not good.
Well, the phone games don't count in this whole argument. Phone games are what started the problem, but they don't count when it comes to console games, because console games are not phone games.
And console games... And this is something me and him talked about, and if you want to put a comment on this, I'd love to hear it. Everybody's. Okay, in phone games, he says, in his way, phone games it's okay because the game is free, and you didn't, like on a console game, you pay $60 for the game.
Yeah,
you
that's
shouldn't
why
have to pay more to keep playing.
No.
Whereas in the phone games, 90% of them are free.
That's why they're
free. You
free.
want to pay to be better, have this extra whatever.
No, I never said it was okay. I just said that's why that's there. Because it's free and they're trying to make money some way. And that's their angle, is to make money off that.
So I guess my question for the comments, if basically the game was free, or say like $5 or $10, but had a lot of loot box stuff in it, would it be okay for you, or would it not be? Would you still rather pay $60 or say $80 for the game and not have any loot boxes or anything? You have to earn everything.
Yeah.
Even if it had to go up to like $80 or $100, would you prefer it be a higher cost and no loot boxes? Because the debate becomes the fact of the cost of making these...
Well, it's maintaining the online servers and stuff is what they're getting at.
Games and maintaining them.
That's what you're paying for. If it had online thing, which a lot of PlayStation and Microsoft have, you have to pay $60 for their PlayStation Store for them to maintain that, which is bullshit because Xbox started that bullshit because PlayStation used to be for free, but now you have to pay for both of them. Whatever. If that's just the case, if it's just an online pay fee, have that. Have a freaking $5 a month thing, or pay $60 for the year and then drop them freaking awards every so often, blah, 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 blah. Free rewards, mind you. I'm not saying loot boxes. I'm saying free rewards. You can still do your loot boxes, I guess, or have yourself earn points to get better weapons or whatnot. But none of this. No, if I paid for the game at full price and this is supposed to be the full game, then they shouldn't. They should. They shouldn't advertise it.
Character should not be a loot box.
No, they shouldn't advertise it as full game. Then they should advertise it this is partial game. You'll be paying more down the line. That's the scummy thing.
And I guess, what's your opinion on that? Would you rather, if $80 to $100 for the game and have to earn it and everything so they can maintain it, or would you rather it be
I would say
a
service,
$5 game and
a service,
loot boxes, or just a $5, $3 to $5 online service fee to play the game?
I think that would be the best, because that's basically what they're getting at.
And on top of paying the $60 for the game.
Well, I mean, because if they paid a stupid $5 service for the month, they're gonna play the stupid game online anyway. They can even you don't want to get on the service or you can't afford that month, have a free room where you can't earn anything, but people can still play. But the service is where you're going to get all the perks or whatever. I don't know. That seems to be the best solution in my mind. Because then you would get rid of all these stupid paywalls and stupid shit like putting Vader in a box. You don't put Vader in a box. It's asinine. They did that because they knew people would pay it. Because no one wants to.
And the other end of
as cool as Darth Maul is, everybody wants Vader. Everybody wants Luke. They don't give two shits about Rey. They don't fucking give any fucks about Finn. I don't even know if Finn's a playable character. They want Han Solo. They want
Vader.
They want Vader. They want Yoda. They want.
It's I don't know what
it's bullshit.
What's your take on it?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to hear comments on that.
We'll see if there's any comments. We don't really get very many comments, if any, but I'm not even sure anybody's listening to this. Maybe it's just going into the ether. Into the YouTube archives. Someone thousands of years will dig up and they're like, these guys are talking to nobody. Yep, probably. I think we get some people listen to them, but I'm not sure often how many. Then we got, I guess we're just talking about NebraskaCon for the next couple minutes.
I really like NebraskaCon. I did interviews. I do hope you go look at my interview videos.
That's the main thing. Yeah, we have 2 interview videos up. We'll probably have a third, maybe a fourth. I'm not sure on how many videos we got so far. Yeah, we did a string of interviews. I guess we could talk about that. There are, if you did interviews and you haven't seen you on the thing yet, it's very possible that we lost the audio on it. We did have some technical foo-hoos, which is to be expected with this kind of stuff. I'm sorry. I'm trying to put it in the intro at least, or put it somewhere so you can still see yourself on the video. And another thing is if I misspelled anybody's name or character name, I'm sorry.
We did try and look up character names, but as far as your actual name or anything like that...
Well, they're like the furries you did. I don't know how they spelled those.
No.
So if I did that wrong, I'm very sorry. I tried. It's the best as I could get, or closest to. So, yeah. And we had some weird ones. You had, like, Heather the Musical. Like, what?
I liked that. That
was cool, but I was like...
Cool.
Jesus, I didn't
That was out of the box, something you didn't expect.
I did not expect that one at all. Very cool cosplay. Heather Musical Girl. So Brent did the interviews. I've been editing mostly, and Brent's been kind of helping out with the editing.
I'm kind of like learning.
Yeah.
I did very little. He's done most of it, but I have enjoyed it.
As the con experience goes, it was a really good con. I was in the costume contest as a big boss. Brent cosplayed as Mickey Mouse.
King Mickey from Kingdom Hearts.
Or Mickey Mouse. It's the same guy.
No,
it still is the same guy.
It's kind of a different realm, but to me...
Well, it's still Mickey.
But...
that's in one of the videos. I threw that in there. I don't know if you saw that.
I seen you put that picture of the one girl who got me to do like 4 or 5 different poses.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah, I found her. She's really cool. I've been talking to her on Facebook. She was asking me a bunch of like costume ideas and stuff like that. So I've been...
Yeah, I talked to her. I wish I would have had an interview with her. She was really cool to talk to, and she gave me good ideas. She said she's usually a landscape photographer.
Yeah.
And she was doing outside of her normal photography. And
we're just bombing her on this thing right now. Yeah, she's really nice. I've been talking to her.
I can't remember her name for the life of me.
I'm not gonna post her name on the... I'm not gonna put her name out on the Warbear thing without her permission, but yeah, I've been talking to her too. She's really cool. Yeah. There's a lot of cool people at the NebraskaCon this year. A lot of new friends. Like I said, I was in the cosplay contest. I was Big Boss from Metal Gear. I didn't win. I lost bad. Even though I thought mine was pretty cool. I had a robot arm. And then a lot of people were like, your one arm was a little longer than the other one, but I didn't seem to mind it so much, but I guess some people took some issue with it, but whatevers. It is what it is.
I thought it looked good, and I liked it.
Yeah, there was no way to... I tried... I guess I just forgot to tuck it most of the time. Like, I was going to be tucking my arm primarily all the time, and I just kind of forgot. Like, with everything going on and stuff like that. What else happened there? Oh, there was a lot going on there. I felt like I ditched Tad and Brent most of the time because I was out doing all kinds of other stuff.
I think we all did. For the first year, we all kind of just did our own thing this year. 90% of mine was trying to do interviews and pictures.
Yeah.
I did maybe 5%. I only did like 4 or 5 panels.
I did a few panels.
But most of mine was...
Hell, I didn't even get to the ones I wanted to do. I wanted to go watch some of the shows, and I never made it to any of them, which bummed me out. And that was nothing to do with the con. It was just I was running around so much, and I stood in all 3 Ruby lines, and I never got any damn autograph with any of the Ruby people. I did see him on the floor a few times, and I said hi to him. And then Brent has this whole conversation with Lindsay and doesn't even realize who he was talking to.
She was pleasant and very nice. I do thank her for being as polite as she was. But I did a couple of panels. Other than that, it was just socializing with people.
Yeah.
And the biggest surprise I had in the interviews, again, watch them.
Surprise, yeah.
I asked the question, what were they looking forward to most?
At the con? Yeah,
Nebraska.
Trust me, I've been editing all of them. I know everything you've been freaking saying.
The answer I expected was more, either this panel or that panel. Mm-hmm. Or, of course, the biggest I thought was going to be people looking forward to the Q&A session with the Rooster Teeth people, or Ruby, I guess, more.
Or any of the voice actors, really.
With the voice actors and stuff like that. I expected more of that, which, unfortunately, I didn't get to do a whole lot go to a whole lot of those, because when I did have a panel to get to go to one of those, I started getting a lot more people wanting to do interviews. I'm like, if I'm getting interviews, forget the panel, I'm going to get my interviews.
Take the interviews.
And so I didn't get to do a whole lot of those.
Right.
But I like the interviews more than I probably would have liked the panel, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And I do thank everybody that I did get an interview with, and I hope if I didn't get to you this year, I do hope to get to you next year. I do want to do more interviews.
I like the idea of the interviews, because we're like putting a spotlight on people who are, have a passion for this kind of thing, and giving them kind of like the recognition that they kind of deserve in this aspect, because a lot of people put a lot of hard work in these costumes. And I don't even care if you just put a bath towel over you and put some makeup on your face. That was still some effort, and then some bravery to even step foot into like 6,000 people and run around in an area. Even though, you're probably not going to be judged at all, by any of those people. It's still like a thing to put yourself out there. And that's like, I give a lot of people credit. And even to like get in front of the camera and do an interview is awesome. And that's why I like giving you guys the credit that you guys deserve on that. So, and that's mostly why we're doing the interviews too. And, I like art, and this is just an expressionist kind of landfill of like expressionist art, And
I think I was getting back to the whole surprise.
Oh yeah,
more people were happy to just be socializing, and the whole environment. And I guess one of the other surprises was a lot of people saying they've been to so many others, but the Anime Nebrascon is the only one they've been to that has such of the home environment that they feel like at home, and everybody's so friendly and nice.
I hear that too, yeah.
And whereas the big ones, they feel like it's crowded. They don't get the everybody's rushing around.
It's more of a rude vibe.
And trying to get to one point to the next.
Yeah.
Whereas this, they feel like it's more laid back, and people like to gather in areas. And I don't know how many people I'd sit at a table, they'd come sit and talk to me. Hey, you mind sitting? They'd talk to me.
Yeah, you're playing like card games with people.
Yeah.
I'm sure you just walked up there and was like, hey, can I play? And they're probably like, yeah, grab a seat. And you know how.
Well, I just sat down to take a break at one point. I don't know if you came by when I did that. A group of people at a table next to me, I guess they were a person shy to play Magic. And they're like, hey, we have extra decks. Would you mind being an extra person and playing Magic with us?
Yeah.
And I played, I think that was Friday night. It's Friday or Saturday night, I don't remember which. But they wanted me to play Magic with them. And I was like, sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's...
The world is much better at a con, well, especially Nebraska. It feels like it's like, man, can I just live here and like have this be reality forever? Because I would love that, and I don't know how that would work in an economical sense, but that would be the best. And I also want to like give a big thanks to two groups of people there that really shined, I feel, every year. And I don't know if they ever get the recognition that they deserve, but the staff and even the police officers who do security there, you guys did an amazing job all the way around. Staff was always helpful. I never met any rude staffers at all. Every one of them was like willing to help at the drop of a hat. When it didn't even matter what it was. Like, you wanted directions, you needed help carrying something, you need help, like, getting your costume off or whatnot. They were just on point. And I was backstage on the costume contest, and everybody back there, I felt, the den mothers and the staffers and all those guys back there did an amazing job. And then, like, you could point out, like, maybe a goofer here on, like, the stagehand end of it. I'm not even gonna sweat that, because, like, to me, like, stuff happens, people fall down. It's how you get back up and handle the situation that matters the most. And I felt like even when, like, things could fall apart, they pulled it together really well. And, like, the security guards, the police officers who were on duty there,
they were really chill, never got, like, overexcited about anything, talked really calm. I was there for one of the, I guess the one way to put it is kind of an incident. Guy got a little...
at night, yeah. That will happen when you get like 6,000 people drinking.
Guy got a little too drunk. And it wasn't like they went overboard with him or anything. They got him under control and I don't even think they arrested him, even though anywhere else or any other situation, that dude would have went to jail.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like, if you're at NebraskaCon next year, you should just take a moment and just thank all the staff and the officers and shake their hands.
I know they were all off-duty EMTs, I believe. But the medical aid people, I guess is what I call them, they had an aid room for anybody who needed it. Thank you. You guys were amazing and so helpful to a lot of people there. And you guys were so nice to the people that were in there, whether it was their own stupid fault or just forgot a medication or something. You guys were just wonderful. And thank you all for helping and being so pleasant as you all were.
Yes. But that was like the thing, too. Like, you don't even notice them until you need them. And that's the sign of a good organized event right there. That's the sign of, like, really good staffing. Everybody doing what they should be doing. Everybody, like, it didn't seem like anybody was being lazy. And I don't even think that ever happened last year or the year before. I never noticed it. And that's the thing, like, that's the thing I think is amazing about it. And why everybody should give them more credit is because you don't notice it. The moment you start noticing it, like when you say, hey, can you help me find this hall, or I need to find this room, and they just blow you off, that's when you're going to notice it, because it inconvenienced you. But that doesn't happen. You go up to the staffers and you go, I need to find this hall, or I'm looking for this event, and they help you immediately, and you're already like halfway there, and you're already thinking about other stuff because you got a lot going on in that kind of environment. And you don't notice it. And I think they don't get thanked a lot because of that. I hope they get thanked a lot. I was trying to thank them as much as I could. But it didn't seem like other people were thanking them. And I'm not saying, like, you guys all suck because you weren't thanking them. But I think that they should get a lot more recognition than what they did. Like, wow, they did a great job. And it was all volunteer. None of these guys are getting paid for this. They're just there because they just want to do it, That's awesome.
Which I give them total props on that. Mm-hmm. They're, wow, amazing.
Like I said, I was in all 3 Ruby lines, and that dude who had to, like, organize that thing, I forget his name, he was talking like he gets death threats on Facebook because of his job, and how shitty he is because he has to cut the line short or anything like that. And at one point that I was standing in line for like an hour or two, that I felt like I was standing in line for an hour or two. They would run through the line. They would cheer us up. They would keep the line happy. They were doing everything they possibly could to make that uncomfortable situation very comfortable. And
he was doing what he could, and it wasn't his fault, you know.
It was just the way they had it set up, because like you just said, it was a homey environment, and that's what they tried to put in for the thing, and they didn't do it like other cons do it.
And downside to
doing it that way.
There's a plus side and a downside. Plus side is if you got to meet them, you legitly got to meet them.
Oh, and there's pictures of that. There's pictures of that. People like interacting with the guests who are there, not just the RWBY people, but well, I mean, to be fair, all the voice actors, and they, you know, you got hugs and you got really good pictures, and you got stuff signed, and you got to talk to them. And I've heard people have conversations about like talking to like Barbara and stuff like that. They had fun. Yeah, well, the downside is
that ridiculous line.
Yeah.
Only about a quarter of the people are going to get through that line to get to meet them.
Yeah, because of that.
So,
and other people too. They got lives. You got to imagine them sitting on your butt in front of a table, signing your name hundreds of times, and then talking to everybody. Even though they did great too. Thank all the guests who were there. Thank you guys. That's got to suck. I can't imagine that for 1 second. That'd probably be fun for like 30 minutes, and then I'm done. I'd probably be like, all right, guys, this is ridiculous. You know, like, my hand's tired.
I'm over it.
I've been thanked 1,000 times. Like, thank you. I love what you do. I thank you. I love what you do. You're so funny. Say something from the game. Say something from the show. You know. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine being famous and having that 100 or some times for a half hour? How long do you think it'd take before you were done?
And that's why the few times that I did see some of them, and I could, most of the time, mind you, when I seen most of them,
I left them alone if I saw them on the floor. I did see them on the floor. I said hi, and that's where I ended it. I just wanted to say hi.
Some of them said hi. You know, I didn't try bothering them.
They all said hi back. They were all super cool. I probably could have went up and talked to them.
I just felt like that was their chill time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't want to be that annoying
pushy
geek fan or whatever. I let them have, you know, they had their times where we were supposed to meet them, and you could.
Mm-hmm.
That was their time to, like, chill out, and I think they all deserve that.
Oh, yeah, they totally deserved it.
And I appreciate all of them that came.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope, you know, and that's one of the things.
In the future, maybe they will come back because we're awesome con, and I hope they do.
And that's my hope. You know, nobody was over pushy with them. Let them have some chill time. So they got to enjoy, you know, it is a Comic-Con. Hopefully they got to enjoy it as much as some of the other people and got to have some relaxed time and meet some cool people that they wanted to meet. So
exactly. I mean, the overall experience, oh, man. I talked to some, like, really good professional cosplayers and just had really good conversations with them from the contest point of view, like the judges and stuff. The artist alley, or the merchants area, was really cool. I bought a lot of stuff. That will be in one of the videos here coming up. Trust me, we're going to make that happen too. That will be in, like, the next video. I'm not sure if there's going to be 3 or 4. That's what I'm getting at, like, at this point. There might be 3. 3 might be longer than normal, but if there's only 3, then 3 will be long. If there's 4, that's why.
I did like a lot of the merchants. They had a lot of stuff, and I do appreciate them coming, and I hope to see more of them in future years.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with the artists, I do hope to see more of them.
Yeah.
I did enjoy a lot of those. The only thing I didn't see this year that I had seen in previous years, which was my small disappointment to that, is I was wanting to buy some posters from stuff I really like.
There was a few, but not a lot.
I didn't see a whole lot of the posters this year.
Like, from the artist alley? Or just, like, professional posters? Because there was some professional posters. I don't know what you're getting
like
at.
professional posters, like last year they had some of the actual RWBY, like, posters. Some Kingdom Hearts posters.
There was no Kingdom Hearts or RWBY posters. I think that if there were RWBY posters, they were probably gone pretty quick. Honestly,
I didn't see a whole lot of them. I didn't see a whole lot of any of the posters of stuff.
If I had a merch corner there that year and I knew who the guests were, I would have like extra ordered.
Oh,
freaking
that was the
RWBY
thing I didn't
poster.
see that I thought was kind of
an oddity. Yeah, I know. Me too. I would have been like.
I would have.
That's
bought,
more of a
like,
marketing thing.
So many like RWBY figurines and posters.
Yeah, but that's from the like corners that like the comic book people and which there wasn't a lot of like actual like store people there, I guess you could say. But then when it comes to artists, they're not gonna do that. They might have already had like a few RWBY posters that they drew up and had posters of. But they weren't going to have, like, a lot of that, because they have a variety of a lot of different shows and stuff on their walls and stuff that they create, too. So I know that I'm not going to blame them for that. Or, not even blame them. I'm not going to, like, hold it against them for not having that. But, from the merching people, like, the people who were coming from, like, comic book stores and, DVD stores and stuff like that, the stuff who had, like, for sale posters, yeah, that was really weird that they didn't have that. And maybe they just didn't have it, or maybe they didn't think, I don't know what I would have, me personally, if I had like a booth down there and I was selling like from a store, I would have been like, oh, we need to order like 1,500 RWBY posters like right now.
You had a variety of RWBY posters,
but maybe
even figurines. I didn't see a whole lot of RWBY figures.
There isn't really though in the world, honestly.
I've seen some.
There's some, but there's not a lot. That's what I'm saying.
I've seen RWBY, Weiss, Yang.
Yeah, but there's not a lot. There's only like Rooster Teeth handles that themselves, and they have not like come out with a lot of lines of that. So there's not a lot of that in the world.
I still would have put them out. I mean, my God.
Maybe they thought they were going to bring them too. Honestly, maybe they thought that. At the end of the day,
that's something else I was surprised. I did expect to see a Rooster Teeth like merch thing there, and I guess that's another question. Where was that? Why wasn't that?
Maybe it was just the girls. Maybe because it didn't seem like it was a Rooster Teeth thing. It just seems like it was a voice actor thing. Even though they all worked for Rooster Teeth.
To me, I guess I would have expected seeing, hey, this is a good place we could move some serious.
Maybe they didn't think that, though, at that time. Because the only one that would have been even, like, remotely department-wise, it would have been Barbara. And maybe Barbara didn't think that a small con in Omaha, Nebraska was going to have a huge merch area. And maybe, like I feel like every guest that comes to NebraskaCon leaves kind of a little bit surprised that there's that many people there for that event. Because they kind of get like wide-eyed and go, holy crap, there's a lot of people here. When they're on stage. Because I'm always there at the opening ceremony, and that's like a lot of what they say is like, wow, there's a lot of you here. I don't think they expect it. Like, if you said that, if I said I got a small con in like Lincoln City, Kansas City or something like that, would you think that there was going to be fucking 6,000 people there?
Kansas City, I mean,
maybe Kansas City is a bad example, but you know what I'm talking about, like some small town, Missouri Valley, Iowa. There you go. Like, would you think 6,000 people would show up here for a con?
So,
and then you get here and there's 6,000 people. You're like, holy, whoa!
And that's one of my things why you probably won't hear me talk a whole lot of like the opening ceremonies and stuff like that. Those get really, really packed, and I have anxiety issues with a whole lot of people in one area.
I don't have a fear of that.
So it's not a fear; it's just kind of.
I don't have a fear or a. Well, I say fear because a lot of people do have like that stage.
And it's
crowds.
It gets me nervous and anxious of being in that I mean, it's the point of some of those get so packed, you're standing. There's no, all the seats are taken up because I don't know if
it was like, I went down there like 20 minutes before it was going to start, right? And I'm thinking there was going to be a line. There's no line. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. And I opened the door, because I went by there once and opened the door to see the staging area, right? And I opened the door and I looked in there, and there was like nobody in there. They were still setting up. And then when I went back there was another guy just kind of standing there too. I guess he thought there was going to be a line as well. And I opened the door again, and I just stepped in because nobody stopped me. There's like people right by the door. Staffers. And they're all setting up. So they saw me come in. And then the other guy came in, and we stood in the back by the water table. And we're standing there, and he's like, is this where the opening ceremonies are going to be? And I was like, yeah, it's going to be like 15 minutes. He goes, you think you're going to kick us out? I'm like, well, it doesn't seem like you're kicking us out now. And then I was like, sitting for a minute, I was like, I'm going to go sit down. So I went right to the front row and sat down because I was like, all the Rooster Teeth people are going to be there. And I'm going to be like 5 feet away. If I don't get an autograph, at least I'm going to have this experience. Like, at least. I'm going to get I'm going to be front row to see him. I want to be front row to see him. And I didn't sit in the very, very front because I figured that'd be VIP sitting, and I was absolutely correct on that. So, but I was sitting there, and he sat like in the one back behind me, and he's like, is it okay to sit here? And I was like, I'm not affiliated with the staff or anything, but I figured if it's not okay, they'd just kick us out. They would tell us to leave. No one's telling us that. They're looking right at us. They see we're here. And then, then everybody just showed up, and the room crowded in, and then they started it. So,
well, I know when they did the Ruby Q&A.
So I didn't even make it to that one. I heard about it, and I figured the line would be too long.
Well, I came in towards, like, the line was ending and getting in there, and I was in there for a little bit of that, and they were really cool and really chill about questions and that.
Yeah, they are normally. Yeah.
But it was, like, really packed in there.
I had a friend that I haven't seen forever because he moved to Omaha, and he was back for, like, Thanksgiving, and I kind of ran into him, and he's like, hey, what's new with you, and how's your channel going, and stuff like that, and I was telling him, this is going all right, it's going pretty good, we're getting a lot more videos up and whatnot, and we have these big old videos we did for NebraskaCon, and he goes, what's that? And I was like, oh, you don't know what NebraskaCon is, and blah, 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 blah. He is a big Red Blue versus fan. He's been following Rooster Teeth since the very beginning. In fact, they might have introduced me to Red versus Blue. And this is way before Ruby and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, they had a big old Rooster Teeth thing there this year with the all the voice actors, Lindsay, Barbara, Aaron, and Caitlin were all there. And he looked at me and goes, what? He goes, I was like, you didn't hear about that? He goes, no. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. He's like, they were really there? I was like, yeah. I was like, at one point, I was like 10 feet away from Barbara on stage. And he goes, shut up. He's like, really? He's like, I still listen to their podcasts and stuff like that. They never said anything about it on there. And I was like, yeah, they did not say anything about it on their podcast or anything. But, I mean, they don't announce every con they go to either, so I don't really blame them for that. And he's like, fuck. He was like, I would have gone to that.
And that's one thing that's the only downside I would say to the Anime NebraskaCon. On their marketing side, which I don't know who is involved in that, I do not think...
I think they advertise as best they can.
There's a whole lot of...
What, do you want a commercial?
I'm not even saying... I don't even hear shout-outs on the radio very much, like a shout-out to it on the radio.
Yeah.
Or talk about, hey, when they talk about what's going on in Omaha. I don't even hear I listen to the radio most mornings going to work. I don't hear it.
I don't even think Omaha thinks it's as big as it is.
I think next year that's going to be something I try and give a shout out to, like call into.
Well, did you know that too? I was surprised to see this, but I Googled Anime Nebraska in 2017. Our podcast shows up on Google Images on like the 8th row. It was the podcast we did before NebraskaCon, and I tagged it in there and we talked about it. And I think the only reason it shows up on Google Images is because not a lot of people were talking about it. So that's why our video shows up on there. So, yeah.
I think that's something next year I'm going to try and do.
Well, we tried. That's what I'm saying. Like, we gave them a lot of shout-outs, and it's just a word of mouth.
Radio stations just call in every once in a while. If you get, hey, can we give a shout-out to Anime NebraskaCon's coming? Hey, give a shout-out to Anime NebraskaCon's coming.
Yeah, maybe that year. Maybe next year we'll get an actual hotel room in the con area.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Well, I'm gonna try.
Unless we go to the same freaking hotel and just reserve 2 or 3 different weekends of it, and be like, oh no, we're gonna cancel that reservation.
Just reserve the whole month.
Yeah, just reserve Thursday, Friday, Saturday of every weekend.
I don't think they'll let us. I think that's how they prevent that from happening, is shit like that.
Well, you pick one weekend, I pick a weekend, Tad picks a weekend, and then whoever has the right weekend, we cancel the others.
I don't know, man. We'll try. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, didn't you get assaulted with your whole being nervous around crowds and stuff like that? Which is a funny story, because I had gotten an idea to do a cosplay based on kind of a furry design for Mickey Mouse. And, well, I was thinking of the thing that the catalyst of the whole thing was, I was watching a video of someone make a Star Fox figure out of clay, and how it had a big head and a normal body on it. And I was like, you could probably do a costume like that. And then it was like, well, you know what? I won't do a costume of something I'm not a fan of, and I never really played Star Fox growing up. I don't have a love for it like somebody else might. And Brent was saying before that, oh man, I would love to do a cosplay, I just can't think of something I would wear. And he's like, I can't wear makeup, and I don't want to wear something where you get assaulted or something like that, or a lot of attention. You're just like, I just want something kind of chill. But he's like, I kind of want something that I would like to wear. And when I thought about the Star Fox thing, I was thinking of other characters that I might want to do. And going through my brain, I was like, oh, Mickey Mouse would be a cool one. But again, I wouldn't wear Mickey Mouse. I'm not a big fan of any Mickey Mouse stuff. But I was like, oh, Brent is. Brent likes Kingdom Hearts. It was the fact that I think Brent doesn't think he looks like any anime characters, which doesn't really matter when you're doing cosplay, but it does to some people, and Brent's kind of particular on details. And but I was like, well, that would be perfect because he'd be wearing a big mask, and then he could just wear whatever for the clothes, and he'd have a Keyblade, which I'm pretty sure he'd probably like to have anyway. I'll run that by him. So I called him up and I was like, hey, Brent, I got an idea for a cosplay. And I said the whole thing. And then Brent, typical fashion, because he has no enthusiasm in his voice, is like, yeah, it'd be cool. So I'm like, do you want to do it? I'll make it and you can wear it. And he's like, yeah. So we started making it. And, Brent kind of helped out on that a little bit with picking out the fabric and stuff like that. Nothing with the sculpting or anything like that.
I tried helping a little with the head, but I just didn't. My head couldn't comprehend how you were doing it.
How I was doing it, yeah.
He did it I will say your way of doing it was very ingenious, and I give you total props on that.
Yay. Props. I wanted the mouth to move, and I just couldn't figure out the mechanics behind that before. But
we'll eventually get to that point.
Yeah,
This is
version 1.
Mach 1 for us will be...
Version 1, Mach 2 will be much better.
So, it's... I think we're going to work on this costume. For me, it's going to be my costume.
Well, the funny thing was like... It must have been, like, a week or two before the con. Because we were getting a whole other bodysuit thing for it, which we just ordered from Cosplay Conspiracy, which did a great job. Good job, guys. Shout out to you. I was like, hey, Brent, I just thinking about this because I was watching some Disney videos. You're probably going to get hugged a lot. And because people just hug Mickey Mouse for no reason if they see him at Disneyland. I was like watching like a thing, they were talking about the people who do like the, like the big giant Mickey Mouse who walks around Disneyland in that horrible Mickey Mouse costume. People will just go up and hug those Disney characters all the time. And they were talking about how they just like, that's just part of the job. And I was like, hey, Brent, heads up, you might get attacked like a lot. Like, you might get hugged a lot. And Brent's like, nah.
Well, for the most part, understand, for the 99% of the time,
people are very respectful and will ask you.
They follow the cosplay. Cosplay is not consent.
Yeah.
And they're, very respectful, which there was quite a few people that were and said, hey, you mind if I hug you, everything. But then you had...
Yeah, but then it's Mickey Mouse.
the others that it's Mickey Mouse. And you get...
They were like, oh...
attacked, as he says. They come up behind you, and you're just kind of like
so
if
you hugged Mickey Mouse at Animated Nebraska, you probably hugged Brent. Brent doesn't mind it, but it kind of weirded him out a little bit.
Like I said, I have anxiety issues, and strange people.
Oops.
Just yeah. So it was kind of a. I tried being okay with it, but I did have my freak out moments, and yes, the group of people that I thought it was just a picture that gave a mass hug.
It's like people thought. I think he thought when I said that too that it would be just like children, and I was like
more.
I was like, no, I think adults will do it, and you're like, nah.
I really thought that would be the only side of it was children, which that doesn't bug me. I'm really good with children. I like that. They're children don't bug me at all. It doesn't cause me any anxiety or anything. To me, that's cute, and
And I was. Cool. It was just kind of like. I gave him this warning, and he kind of blew it off. And then afterwards, he's like, dude, I got attacked. Laughing about it. I was like, yeah, I told you that might happen. And you're like, I didn't think you were right, but then you were right.
I didn't think it would be to the degree it was.
Yeah, I'm not.
There was more people who didn't ask and hugged me.
Not surprised
than
at all.
People that asked.
Yeah. I'm not surprised at all. So if you were listening to this in the future, maybe ask for a hug from Mickey instead of just hugging him. Maybe he'll be better about it too. I don't know.
I'm getting better with it and being okay. I thought I was very respectful and really nice to all of them that did maul me, except, and I don't know your name, and I'm sorry if I offend you, you ginormous guy that was like 6-7 foot, come up behind me and just ripped to no, and when I say ripped, he was a very muscular guy, come up, hug me and pick me up, okay? You too big to be doing that. You need to ask.
No, they're all children when it comes to Mickey, man.
You just too big for that, okay? That freaked me out.
They're all children when it comes to Mickey Mouse. Now, oops. That was kind of my bad, because the whole thing was supposed to be like a chill costume, and then after the fact, I was like, oh, shit. I posted a photo of it on the group page. When Brent didn't do this. He doesn't do any of the social media stuff, which I wish Kat or Brent would pick up more on. I posted a photo on the group page, and it blew the fuck up, and I was like, that's when I told you. I was like,
This might have not been a great costume for me.
Did you see how big this was blowing up on the thing? And you're like, eh.
Which I do need to do more of the media side and start picking up better on that.
Yeah. Are you going to do King Mickey next year then? Is that what the plan is? Yeah.
I want to do a better mask.
A better mask.
And maybe change up the pants.
Are you going to see the same outfit?
About the same outfit. I might do the other outfit too.
Right.
And do the other shoes. I think I might change the shoes to more what I wanted them. More of the style. Try doing more with the shoes, doing a different...
Well, I mean, you have the black shoes with the coat. And...
I'm talking where they're skinnier and go more to that rounded end. And I mean, I would like to attempt that, I would say. I guess the best way to put it, I would like to attempt that.
I got some ideas for that we can look into.
But
another Keyblade, too.
I would like to...
up the Keyblade status.
Like I said, we want to do the casting of that and do those.
Yeah, we got a whole other phase 2 of costume making and prop making coming up next year. That's going to be fun to learn and probably a bit of a nightmare. But I'm not going to announce what I'm going to do yet till I get to that point.
Make sure what's feasible and possible.
It's possible and it's totally feasible. I could lame it out and I could do like a half-ass version, but that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to give myself some wiggle room to fail and then lame it out later. Or if I succeed, I could be like, I told you bitches I was going to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. So,
to his credit, he says he lost. I think we have the problem when it comes to costume contests. We don't do necessarily what's like the big wow, what's hip at the time or what's wow at the time. We do things that, like him doing Boss from Metal Gear Solid, something he's big into. It's really something he really likes and is big to him. And it may not be like what's big and wow at the time.
I don't know. A lot of people stopped me in the halls and wanted my picture.
But I will say there was a lot of people dressed doing the snake costumes. There was a decent amount of them this year.
It was about, let's say 4, 5, for sure.
And
mine was the only sneaking suit variant, other than the dude who does Snake from Metal Gear Solid, and I did Snake from the Phantom Pain, and I had the sneaking suit from that. So there was a difference between the sneaking suits, but I always liked his too because this is actually like a oh, excuse me. He has like a leather vest thing, and I thought it looks really cool, but it depends on how you want to do it. I like his though. That's what I'm getting at.
And much to my surprise and thankfully, because I don't do well with clowns, there was not a whole lot of Pennyworth there.
Pennywise?
Pennywise.
Not Pennyworth.
Pennywise from...
There was a few gender bend ones, but not like male ones.
There was 2 or 3 there is all I've seen.
I saw girls dressed as Pennywise. I didn't see any guys.
I seen one guy.
I never saw a guy, but...
And 2 girls.
I'm not surprised if I didn't see him. If I didn't see it, then there was too many people there.
But I will say they were all very, very well at the fact of knowing people had phobias of clowns. And people that cringed when they came around, they kind of made a wide U around them. Even at one point, there was 2 crowds. I remember seeing one of them. And it was one of the gals that was dressed. Mm-hmm. She seen the crowd. There was a small lane between the 2 crowds, but they both kind of like cringed away.
Right.
She literally walked out and went around out the main entrance and came in by the restaurant area to not freak people out and not be, which mad props to her for being so respectful to people like having phobias of it.
She might have just did that for some other reason though. She could have just been outside to get a phone call or something. But
no, you could see she
was trying to like.
You could see that clearly they were
that was a thing.
And she just went around, and I only know that because she was in front of me as at the time I was going to walk out to smoke.
Oh,
and she said something to her friend, why are we going around? And she said something about it.
I like that. That's cool.
And I said, the ones that did do it seemed like they were very, they weren't intentionally trying to, like, freak people out with it.
It was a lot of fun. I can't wait till next year, honestly. It's just something to look forward to for the whole year, something to get prepped for. Costume-wise, and
I do hope to be doing more interviews with more things. To those that I talked to for the furry stuff in Omaha, I do hope you reach out to us. I would love to do interviews and learn more about that community.
Oh, you mean just furries in general?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got the on the second video, if you want to go watch it on morebear.com or follow us on our Facebook page and watch it there. You had two. You had the one girl who was our first furry suit that she made, which was really good for her first one. And she had her own character and everything like that. She was in the costume contest, and I think her name was Grace. Her name was Grace. And Grace Meyer, it's in the video. I tried to, like, if you got a random message from me on Facebook with the video, it was because you were in the video, and you might have, like a lot of people might have forgot they did something like that at the con. So I tried to reach out to as many of the people who actually were in the video and sent them the video so they could see themselves in the video with their interview, whatever it's worth to you. I tried to find her. I couldn't find her. So I'm sorry. I looked for you to try to send you the video. But the second furry group you did, too, I couldn't find them. I don't even think they have a page or anything. They had a handler there, but you're the star golems. Really cool. I liked them. They were really neat. They were really nice people. And I mean, anybody who wants to do
props to them. Those costumes were.
Anybody who wants to do more interviews for next year, we'll be there. Whether we have.
I'm talking outside the NebraskaCon. I would like to go to that furry convention. They said they have them like
cool. Yeah, then
once a month or something in Omaha. I would love to go there and do interviews. I do hope they reach out to us. I know there was one in Minneapolis.
Yeah, you can if you want to reach out to us for anything, really, you can send us a message on our Facebook page. That would probably be the best way to do it. Don't do it on the YouTube page because I rarely check that messaging. I know you can message on not in the messages. I mean, like, to send a message, like a private message to us. Just do that on the Facebook page. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us.
I would really love to do any of them. If you're would like to have us, we'd love to come do interviews, get to know whatever your con is, and do interviews, even hopefully get some more, eyes on you and more
attention.
More attention to you, and at the same time, it helps us. So,
I really want to talk to that Chris kid again, the guy who did the Thor, because he was actually doing like actual metal work, smithing and stuff for his hammer, and I actually did message him, and now we're buddies on Facebook. Which, hey man, what's up? I would love to do another interview with him too. Just in this whole smithing process, if we just could get a camera on that, like a little tutorial on that process, that would be so cool.
Interview where it's not so loud around.
I reached out to him. I was like, hey, I want another interview with that new hammer, and he's like, I don't know if it's gonna happen or if it happens. Schedules. I understand that, but hell yeah, I'd love to like. That's a whole level of artistry that it seemed like he was just getting into, but I would love to explore it and expose it, to just show everybody you don't need to just make fence posts, you know, with blacksmithing, or what's something you'd make with blacksmithing? I think that a lot of people do like I say fence posts because I know a lot of people like do fences and stuff with smithing and stuff, or like pokers or pokers. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking like people.
Actually, most of it you see the blacksmith stuff right now that I know of is chainmail, horseshoes still because they are still used.
Okay.
And fence stuff, and actually the biggest is motorcycle stuff.
Yeah. But to use it for like cosplaying purposes, I find that to be very fascinating. And the fact that he actually had a real hammer that looked like, somewhat like, I would say, a blend of the comic book and the movie prop, which I find really cool. Yeah, I would love to see his working process and have an in-depth interview with him about that whole process that he goes through, or his mindset on the whole thing, just to like share it with the world and get eyes on his little thing that he's doing, because that's so cool. That is really cool. And the furry thing too. The furry thing I always find really cool because they got those heads and they move, and the eyes can blink sometimes, and
the mouth moves sometimes.
The mouth moves, and it's got to be hot as hell. And
for me, the actual work and us doing some costumes, and to me, they can't be near as what some of those complete furry suits are.
The biggest problem with that is there's such a misunderstanding about the furry community as is, that anytime anybody does any kind of stupid interview with them, they want to talk about like, why are they doing this and their mindset on it. And I'm like, guys are missing out on like a huge aspect of like the artistry behind this.
To me, the
like,
artistry...
Get to the artistry. That's what I want to know.
The artistry, like I said, the in-depth of making the costume, not to mention, as some of the stuff you were showing me in this, as that I didn't know, each costume they make is they literally put a backstory and like a complete in-depth character to it.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the whole creativity of that is just amazing.
It's like D&D on another level.
I do not have that much creativity to me. That is just...
And it's not even...
Wow.
The weird thing about it is, it's just for their own personal gratitude. And, you know, like, I guess they get some, like, praise from their own community and outside of that a little bit. But, you know, like, they're not making money off of it. It's not a merchandising aspect. They're not looking to make, like, that character on a shirt or in a webcomic book or anything like that. It's just a personal character for them. And I find that to be very fascinating because it's like, it's something they're sharing with the world, but it's nothing to make money off of. And they'll put money into it, but they're not making any money off of it. And that aspect of it is weirdly fascinating to me because it's like, it's just something you're keeping to yourself, and it's like a personal art project, you know, like someone who made their own shoes but had no intention of like selling the shoes, but you know, they keep making shoes for themselves, and weird shoes, you know, and they're everyday shoes and they wear them, but they don't sell these shoes, and it's like, that's so fascinating.
See, to me it is fascinating because
but the artistry of it, they learn how to draw.
Not to mention, they put like a persona, I guess the best way, to that character. And like the one I was talking to, that they have meetings and that they go like bowling and they do these like, they stay in character for like this whole thing.
Yeah.
And
it's crazy.
That is just...
It's cool. It's cool. It's really cool. But
amazing and wow to me.
Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap this up? Because we're getting on the...
That's it for me.
Okay, I guess we're wrapping it up. Thank you for listening to the Warbear Podcast. We are not sponsored by anybody, but if you'd like to sponsor us or for anything, you can get a hold of us on our Facebook page. And that's just a good advice in general. If you want to follow more of us, just follow us on our Facebook page and like and subscribe on our YouTube page. And I don't really think of anything else I want to add to this.
Hit the like button.
Yeah, smash it. Smash the like button. Tat should be here in the future, and there'll be more gaming videos and other content coming up pretty soon. We'll have more of the cosplay contest stuff. Probably part 3. There might be a part 4. I'm not sure on that one just yet. So, thanks for listening. Talk to you next month. Bye. Bye.